staged in Luzhou next month. Just the top 8 in each discipline qualified for those finals, and there you can see the whole list of the 12 tournaments played this year. And of course, not only is this the 12th and last event of the year, it's the 5th and final Premier Super Series event for 2011. So to our order of play for today, and we're starting with men's doubles and the World Championships, silver medalists from Korea involved in that. And then women's doubles, and again, World Championship silver medalists, this time from China. Then women's singles and Ip Pui Yin, who of course has a silver and bronze medal from Asian Games, up against the finalists from France. Then mixed doubles, and Diju and Gutta of India up against the very much informed Danish combination, having reached the final of the last 4 Super Series tournaments, Fischer, Nielsen and Peterson. And then the last of our matches today is men's singles, and a repeat of the final from the French Open. Lee Chong-wei, the world #1, against Kenichi Togo of Japan. Well, I'm Jill Clark, sitting alongside former England head coach Ian Wright, and as the players come onto court for the first of these matches, Ian, just a very quick word about the Premier events this year, because of course this is the 5th and final Premier event, first year that we've had Premier, and it really has been a resounding success.
Yes, you'd have to say it's really up the ante in terms of the top players having to play each other on a more regular basis. It's been a great addition to the World Tour, and long may it continue.
Yes, I concur with that, absolutely. It's been fabulous. So, to the first of our matches. This, of course, second round encounter, which means the last 16 of every event, because, of course, the OSIM BWF World Superseries, a draw of 32 in each discipline. So, of course, the World Championship silver medalists from Korea, Go Sung-hyun and Yu Young-sung, #4 in the world rankings. But first, let's look at the pair from Taipei, Cheng Hung-ling and Lin Yulang. #4 seeds yesterday had to play against their teammates, the qualifiers, Kim Ki-jung and Shin Bek-chol. Very comfortable victory too. So there's Cheng Hung-ling, 25 years of age. Semi-finalists of this event 2 years ago. Not seeded, of course, a world ranking of 24, having played 20 tournaments. And of course, yesterday they had a tough match against the Germans, Michael Fuchs and Oliver Roth. They were actually 15-11 up in the second game, having taken the first, and somehow conspired to lose that, and therefore went to a third and deciding game, which they won pretty comfortably, 21-14. So they certainly had their work out. There's Go Sung-hyun, 24 years of age. Well, win-loss record for the pair from Taipei in the negative. Just 1 quarter-final this year. That was from the Vietnam Grand Prix. Actually, just to correct myself, 2 quarterfinals this year, US Open as well. But they've struggled a little bit in some of the Super Series events, and that, of course, is because it's so important to be seeded, as indeed are the Koreans. The #4 seeds, #4 in the world, having played 18 tournaments, and they were semi-finalists here at the China Open last year. Lost out to their teammates, Jung and Lee, who, of course, won the title here in China for the 3rd consecutive year. That really is a remarkable record, because the Chinese players do tend to play so well at home. There's our umpire and service judge, are both from China for this opening match. So Ian, of course, Go and you very much the favourites for this encounter.
Yes, you'd have to say that. They've had a very solid year so far. And as you say, the Taipei pair not shown a lot of form. I think that's mainly due to Chen Hung-Ling concentrating more on the mixed event this year. He's had some excellent results in the mixed. Really moved up very quickly in the rankings, got himself up in the top 8.
Yeah, he's number 5 at the moment.
Yeah, he's on a really good run there, but I think that's been to the detriment of his men's a little bit this year.
That's interesting. I think I'll pick up on that point a little bit later. And why do you feel that? Because his focus has been more, or it's his style of play affecting his men's doubles by playing mixed?
Yeah, I think looking at his world ranking, you know, it's an Olympic year. Most of the players are focusing on one event only this year, and I'm sure the Taipei coaching setup is more based around his mixed practice than around his men's practice when you look at their respective rankings.
Interesting. So the seeded combination from Korea nearest to us as we look down on the court. Now these two pairs have actually played each other twice previously this year. Only 2 former meetings between them. Last time they met was last week in the first round of the Hong Kong Open. Went to 3 games on that occasion, but the Koreans, having won both of their previous encounters, just emphasises the point that probably they are favourites for this, but oh my goodness, indecision.
Yeah, talking to 1 or 2 of the players this week, Jill, they've all been saying that the hall's a little bit on the slow side, and certainly that rally would give good evidence to that opinion. Very difficult to get the shuttle down.
What do you mean when you say on the slow side? Why should any stadium be different to another?
Well, each stadium has its own characteristics in terms of temperature, airflow, height, the size of the arena floor. And certainly all the players this week so far are saying that this is quite a slow stadium. It's quite difficult to hit winners from the rear court. Having to adjust their tactics a little bit, play a little bit more on counter-attack, particularly the men's doubles players.
Kang Hyun-jin, Korean coach. Oh, it's very good play. He's such a strong athlete, isn't he?
He is. He's a much improved player. But there we see again, you know, he had 4 or 5 opportunities on the front court to finish, and it took him 4 or 5 shots to actually get through and get the shuttle on the floor. It just reflects the nature of this hall.
Oh, yes, well worked. And that is going to be the emphasis about working the rally then, given what you've just said.
Yeah, you've got to be constructive, not just try and hit hard. Got to try and construct the point, create space before going for the winner. That's good play, good serve. Racket straight up afterwards. Faded interception. Good play.
Oh, yes.
At the moment, the Taipei pair insisting on a flat game, but that's really suiting the Korean pair. They're both very quick in that front court position. Both quick to see the shuttle and to intercept on that front court. Good
change of pace. That's lovely play from Lin Lang.
Yeah, pace driving their opponents off the net position and then using the space they've created. Good play.
Good change of angle too from Yu Young-sung. Oh, once again, that's very clever change of pace from the pair from Taipei.
I'll be disappointed there. Quite an easy opportunity, just hesitated a little bit, let the shuttle come to him rather than pushing forward onto the shuttle.
Oh, that's super backhand. Mid-court area, very much a tactic in all doubles events. Get it past the net player, but make the shuttle land in front of the rear court player. Yeah, giving them some of their own medicine there. Change of pace, and it means that they go to the mid-game interval with a 3-point advantage. Ian, let's talk. We know about the strengths of the Korean pair, and they've enjoyed a lot of success. You know, final of World Championships earlier this year, and you know, steadily doing very, very well in tournaments. But when we look at the Taipei pair, last year 3 finals, a silver medal at the East Asian Games back in December of 2009. They keep promising to me so much, and yet they don't seem to fulfill that potential, because they seem to almost get there but never actually really push through to the big results and big tournament wins. Is that a fair comment?
I think it is fair, but again, I'll come back to the point that Chen Hung-ling has really become, you might almost say, well, his results would say he's a mixed specialist this year. I mean, his mixed results have been extremely good. He's come through very quickly. He's up to number 5 in the world rankings, as you pointed out, Jill. And I think he's concentrated a lot more on the mix this year, and that's probably reflected in his training back home as well. And that would probably explain the inconsistent form of this men's doubles combination.
So back level, 5 points adrift. At one stage at 5-10 down. 6 of the last 7 points going to Chen and Lin.
Yeah, they've adapted the tactics well here, Jill. They've learnt their lesson from the driving rallies they played early on, where they were hitting onto the Koreans, and they've started to mix the pace up a little bit. A couple of nice changes of pace, as you said before the break, taking the pace off the shuttle a lot more, and that's just forcing the Koreans to think a bit more. Same again, pace off down the sides. It's the Koreans that hit up and try and go through that front court position.
And of course, pushing the Korean pair so close last week will have given the Taipei pair a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I'm sure they're playing free here in this match, and nothing to lose. They can go on. As I say, sometimes when you get the slower hauls, Jill, it does lead to upsets. Sometimes players feel that it's the slow hauls that give them a better chance against the top players. So maybe they're taking a little bit of confidence from that as well. And that's what they can't do. They can't put pace on and try and go through that front court position. This Korean pair are just too sharp in that area. See, smash from the back, it's drive defense, intercepted on the front court. Again, nice variety from the rear court, the drop and the cross-angled smash. Just keeping the Koreans guessing a little bit there. Good play.
Yeah, it was very positive defence there, wasn't it? Drive, cross-court, into that deep forehand corner.
Oh, that's good. Quick in. Realising that the Taipei pair want to take the pace off the shuttle. So as soon as he'd pushed to the mid-court, quickly in behind it for the forecourt kill.
I think both the Korean athletes are so physically strong that even though it takes hard work to get the shuttle down, eventually they do because of their sheer physicality.
Well, they're not afraid of hard work, Jill, that's for sure.
No.
You know, these guys can play at this pace for a long time. They won't be afraid of long rallies.
Trying to make it a little too tight now, realise that it really has to be a pretty special shot to actually win the rally, not giving themselves any margins.
Hesitation there. Didn't know whether to follow or not, and in the end took the shuttle a little bit late, and that made it go flat out of the rear court.
2 points away from this opening game. So 5 opportunities now. Close out the opening game for the Koreans. The lift was woefully short from Lin Lang. It got what it deserved. The winning smash. 21-16. Look at that athletic ability. The leap in the air from Go Sung-hyun. And the opening game in just 12 minutes of play. 21-16. Well, obviously we're not quite sure what was said to the players there, but if you were coaching them, Ian, what would you be trying to advise them?
Well, I think when they're in defence, they've either got to go over the net player and give width to the rear court to move the rear court player to try and create some space, or they've got to block in defence. What they can't do is drive. And I think from the shadow movements the coach was making, that was what he was saying. In defence, it's got to be block or high to manoeuvre the Koreans around to try and create some space, rather than trying to hit through them all the time.
Generated from Go Sun Hyung on his backhand side there. Virtually no backswing of the racket. Absolutely extraordinary. Look at that. Incredible. Oh, he's put it long. Goodness me.
I think he was surprised it came back, Jill. He played almost a perfect singles net roll. He was probably very proud of that and wasn't ready for the return.
Clever.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure that's the right game for the Taipei pair. That flat, fast game really suits this Korean pair. They're probably as good as anybody in the world at that sort of game.
Short. Yeah. Well, as far as the Taipei pair are concerned here, just really far too much defending.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right. They've got to find ways to take the attack. I think a little bit of pace out on the returns of serve. Try and get control of that net position. But again, they've pushed through flat. And it's the Koreans who have the first chance. Didn't take it this time, but still not sure that's the right return of serve for them.
Oh my goodness. There was a real opportunity squandered there from Lin Yu Lang.
Again, the flat drive just allows the Korean to hit and follow. We saw there at the end of that rally, both Korean players very, very high on the court, both in very attacking positions.
Knows he should have made more of that. Koreans actually had an incredible start to their partnership, which they formed at the Asian Championships in 2009, reached the final. There was an awful lot of experimenting for an awfully long time with the Korean pairs, weren't there, of, you know, who was going to play with who, both men's doubles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles. They all seem settled now.
Yes, it's something that the Koreans do a lot of early in the Olympic cycles. Each time they like to try the different combinations, like to experiment a little bit before they actually settle on it. But this time, throughout the qualifying period, they've been fairly settled in their pairs. And I'm sure now they're looking to try and get the highest seeded positions they can for the Olympics.
Yes, well, of course, at the moment, Korea have got the #2 ranked pair in the world, in Jung and Lee. And this pair we're watching now are #4. And Olympic Games, Ian, are nationalities separate for the #1 and 2 pairs in the Olympic Games, different, of course, to Super Series.
Yes, there is still country separation in Olympics. So if you qualify 2 pairs, they'll be in different halves of the draw. And of course, Korea, a great tradition in men's doubles in the Olympics.
Yeah. I think they've had medalists at every games, haven't they, in the men's doubles?
Yeah, yeah.
2 golds.
Yes, an all-Korean final. Yeah, they've got a great tradition. I know that they were very disappointed last time, miss out on getting someone into the final. They'll be looking to make up for that in London.
Of course, they did have a gold medal in the mixed doubles.
Yeah, and a lot of people say they got that because Lee Hyun-dae missed out in the men's and was able to concentrate fully on the mixed. Certainly his statements leading into the games were that he was favouring the men's event and ended up winning the mixed.
Yeah. Well, an 8-point deficit halfway through this second game. Having already lost the first, they've got to have the courage to do something completely different, because, I mean, you carry on playing like this and you have to assume that they're going to lose.
At the moment, exactly right, Jill, they're just doing the same thing the whole time. Being drawn into these fast, flat exchanges, which suits the Korean style of play, and they can't win at that game. They've got to change it. But again, we go into a flat rally, and again, it's the Koreans that take the attack.
Yeah.
It's becoming quite repetitive. And when you've not had a good season, often when you get in these sorts of situations, the head goes down, and certainly I think that's what's happening at the moment. They've not had a good run of results in the men's doubles, and once they've lost that first game, it seems all their confidence has ebbed away.
Well, this is a run now of 7 straight points. Make it 8. Decisive passage of play.
Yeah, and there we saw a little bit of the difference there. We saw from Chen a little block there. He was able to follow in. The Koreans had to lift, and changes the nature of the rally.
Oh, pushed it wide.
Yeah, Korean coach just asking his players to keep concentrating. Feels they've maybe just relaxed a little bit last couple of points.
Yeah, they're taking more initiative now, last couple of rallies.
Yeah, they took the pace off once, then able to follow in, and you can, if it shuttles above the net, yes, put pace on. The problem's been that they've been putting pace on from below the net as well, which has not worked for them. There's the block, take the attack, and now they get a chance.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, it's unbelievable. What a great rally. Well, you were saying it needed several attempts to get the shuttle on the floor. Brilliant block there from Chen Hongling.
That's fantastic. That's what they've been missing, a little bit of creativity in defence rather than just hitting hard. Back to the flat exchange again, and there's only one winner in those exchanges. That's the Koreans' favoured style.
Going for a very acute angle, and I guess given what we were saying earlier about you've got to try something different, perhaps a good idea.
Yeah, I think the problem is he's had 3 or 4 smashes. They're all round about the same pace, and the Koreans are on that pace. Just needs to take the pace off, mix the pace off a little bit more.
Oh, it's landed in. Misjudgment from Lin Yu Lang.
Yeah, again, very noticeable. There's not many shuttles going out to the back of the hall, going out to the back of the court in this hall, rather. It is quite a slow hall.
That's a good return. Yeah, there's the change of pace that you were asking for.
Yeah, very effective. One fast to fix your opponents in the rear court, then the pace off. And that creates the opportunity. Yeah, and again, we can't see it on the screen, but Grain, the Korean coach, geeing his players up. He certainly feels that they've just relaxed a little bit. That's nice, though.
Yeah. Good response. 2 points away from a place in the quarterfinal. Oh, it's just wide. That's a pity. It was a really inspirational attempt at a shot. But it is, of course, now 10 match points for the number 4 seeds, Go and Yu. delaying the inevitable, one suspects. This time, yep, well, really showing their class today in this second round encounter. The number 4 seeds, Go Sung Hyung and Yu Young Sung. A comfortable victory over Chen Hung Ling and Lin Yu Lang of Taipei. 21-16, 21-11 confirms the umpire. Big open space across court there for the final winning shot. 29 minutes required to see them safely through to the quarterfinal. Ian, they really did outplay their opponents today, having been so close a week ago.
Yeah, very comfortable. Different tournament, different hall. Also, probably the Koreans ready after last week. It was maybe a wake-up call for them last week's match. They were ready, came out strong, came out quick, and were able to completely dominate the match, really. I do think this hall will quite suit them, though, Jill. They might be difficult to beat in here. They've got a very, very solid defence. They play with a lot of patience from the rear court. They're happy to play out long rallies. It'll be interesting to see how they go later in the week.
So that's the first of our matches complete. And the seeded pair looking very impressive indeed. Just to remind you, of course, we'll have women's doubles in just a moment. And here come the women's doubles pairs. Following this women's doubles, we'll have women's singles, then mixed doubles, and then the last of our matches this afternoon will be men's singles featuring the world number 1 Lee Chong Wei of Malaysia. Well, we saw the World Championship silver medalists in the men's doubles. Now we've got the World Championship silver medalists in the women's doubles, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. Their opponents, Xie Pei Cheng and Wang Pei Rong. Go Si Yang of Malaysia, our umpire for this women's doubles. So to the pair from Taipei, caused a big upset yesterday in the first round. But there is Zhao Yunlei, world champion in the mixed doubles earlier this year. A gold and a silver medal from the recent World Championships. Zhao Yunlei, 25 years of age and holder of the women's doubles, playing with Tian Qing, who's holder of the mixed doubles here at the China Open. So Taipei pair of Xie Pei Cheng and Wang Pei Rong. Their first round encounter against Vita Marisa and Nadia Malati of Indonesia. 2 straight games, and when you consider that the Indonesians have just been silver medalists at the Southeast Asian Games in Jakarta, and of course that Indonesian pair reached the final of the Indonesia Super Series events, the 3rd of the premier events. That's no mean feat to defeat them yesterday. But looking at the world number 2 ranked pair, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei, formed, or should I say reformed, their partnership at the Asian Games last December when Cheng Shu, who had been the partner of Zhao Yunlei, she was injured. So Zhao Yunlei teamed up with Tian Qing and promptly won the gold medal. I say reformed their partnership because they actually played 3 tournaments together back in 2005 when they were both just 19 years of age. As we look at our court officials for this match, first 2 tournaments that they played, having reformed their partnership, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei, they won them both. The Asian Games gold medal, and then the first of the OSIM BWF World Superseries events this year in Malaysia. Since then, Ian really sort of played second fiddle to Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, top Chinese pair, top pair in the world.
Yes, you'd have to say the 2 Chinese pairs at the moment are by far the best 2 pairs in the world, but even between those 2 pairs there's a gap. And although they've had a very, very good year this year, this Chinese pair, they have been dominated really by their compatriots. It'll be interesting to see them in this hall though, Jill. When they have had 1 or 2 uneven results, it's been in the slower halls. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope with it this week.
So the Asian Games gold medalists, World Championship silver medalists, nearest to us, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. And I especially want to keep an eye on Zhao Yunlei in this match because in the final of the Hong Kong Open on Sunday, she withdrew from the final of the women's doubles, having already won the mixed doubles. Knee injury, there was holding her knee. Now, of course, Zhao Yunlei didn't actually have to play yesterday, had a walkover in their first round of the women's doubles against Nina Dankir Kreuzer and Maria Ropka of Denmark. And then in the mixed doubles, she didn't have to play there either because she and Zhang Nan were given a walkover against the qualifiers, He Hanbin and Bao Yixin. While having qualified, He Hanbin and Bao Yixin, not quite sure what the injury problem was or why they withdrew, but extra day, Ian, for Zhao Yunlei to recover from that knee injury.
Yes, I see she's wearing strapping. It'll be interesting to see how she goes.
Yeah, that's a common thing, though, with Zhao Yunlei, always wears strapping on both knees. So, I'm trying to see from our commentary position, she got strapping on her left knee. It is interesting, because it was her left knee that was the problem in Hong Kong. It's a beautiful drop shot. These 2 pairs have met each other before, twice previously. On both occasions, it was Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei who won, both in 2 straight games. Pair from Taipei. Pei Cheng, 25 years of age. Her partner, Wang Pei Rong, 26. Quarter-finalists at the Swiss Grand Prix. Taipei pair. Apart from that, have never progressed past the second round of a tournament this year.
Now, we were talking about it a little bit in the men's doubles. with the nature of this hall being a little bit slower than the players are used to, you would expect 1 or 2 upsets. And certainly that first round ladies doubles yesterday surprised a few people. That's a good win for them. Let's just see if they've taken any confidence from that and can build on it, because they've not had a great year, as you say, Jill.
It's always interesting to me, Ian, to see how players react to a good result, whether they've come to the tournament, seen the draw and focused all their attention on that first round encounter, which they weren't expected to win, and having achieved the victory, it's almost as if, well, we've given no thought to the second round match and therefore aren't necessarily mentally prepared for it, or whether, as you say, they build on the confidence that they've gained from the day before. It depends on players how they react.
Yeah, it depends a little bit on the coaching as well, Jill. I mean, that's where the coach has to come in after they've had that good win, ground them, make sure they come down after the match yesterday, make sure they do a good preparation today, make sure they've got their tactics ready and their heads fully on this match. And they've started very well in this match so far.
Yeah, they have.
As I say, if there is a weakness with Tian and Zhao, it is that they just miss a little bit of power from the rear court. And if that's going to be exposed anywhere, it's going to be in one of the slower halls. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah, it's a very good angle. Well, you were mentioning earlier that they have had 1 or 2 indifferent results. They have been quite clearly the second best pair in the world overall over the last 12 months. But you're right, quarter-final at the All England Championships, lost to Matsuo and Nato of Japan. Japanese pair played very well, but it was an unexpected result. And then in the second round of the Japan Open Super Series event, they lost to the Danish combination of Camilla Rutejul and Christina Pedersen. And you have to say, Ian, that for number 2 ranked pair in the world, you can see other pairs could be successful against them, like this long rally. You know, there's other pairs that can stay with them, whereas when you and I have watched Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, you don't know how other pairs are going to break down their very exciting dynamic play.
Yeah, it's interesting. The 2 results you mentioned are in 2 of the bigger, more airy halls, 2 of the slower halls, when you look at the All England and Japan. And I think that is, as I say, if there is a weakness, that it's there, that they just miss a little bit of penetration from the rear of the court, and that sometimes exposes them to counter-attacking in tight pairs. And certainly Japanese pairs, you'd have to say, are mainly counter-attacking. So, yeah, it's interesting, and it'll be interesting to see whether they've learnt from those results and how they cope with the hall here.
Yeah, well, it's interesting from 5-all, 6 straight points. You know, you and I were just moments ago talking about the Taipei pair and saying, you know, how well they'd started, but suddenly at 5-all, world number 2s have the ability just to up the intensity and up the pace.
Yeah, but, I mean, tactically, I think the Taipei pair have got to think a little bit. I'm sure the coach will try and sort it out, but they're giving too many opportunities to the front court player at the moment. And both these Chinese girls are very, very good mixed players as well. See the shuttle very early and very good on forecourt interception. It's more about working them in the rear court, using some good width and good length to the rear court to try and create some space.
Good judgment. Is there a drift in this hall? Faster one end than the other?
Talking to the players, there's no huge difference in ends, they're saying. It is a little bit drifty because it is very big, but there's nothing...
Not like last week.
Nothing between the 2 ends, no.
Yeah.
No.
Hong Kong, there was most definitely a difference in the ends. as we're talking about it.
Well, missed it, but tactically better. Used some width to the rear court there. Made the Chinese girls work a little bit more in the rear court, and then was looking for the space in the front court. Right thing to do, but the execution was not good enough. Missed it, created the chance. Follows in well, just overcooks it out the back of the court.
Missed opportunity there from Tian Qing.
Yeah, a bit disappointed there, given the opportunity to move in from the mid-court to forecourt, which is a strength.
Court 3, men's single. Sasaki Shaw, Japan. Pablo Avian, Spain.
It's interesting, your comment a little earlier, Ian, about Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei playing in this hall, that they'll be quite difficult to beat, because in fact they've held the women's doubles with different partners for the last 2 years, because Tian Qing won the events with Zhang Yawen in 2009. And of course last year Zhao Yunlei won it with Cheng Shu.
Different type of pair though, isn't it? More of a front court, rear court player, that combination. Whereas in this combination you've got two players who really are very good all-round players, but both of them favour the net position and moving forward from mid-court to front court. So they're a very aggressive pair. I must admit I was surprised when the Chinese put these two together, but it's proved to be very, very successful. Normally they like a rear court player, someone with some power, playing with their mixed style players, but it's been very successful putting two very skillful players together here.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that Li Yongbo's comment, Li Yongbo, head coach of the Chinese team, he was talking in the press room during the Asian Games and saying that Tian Qing was very flexible in her style, and most importantly flexible in her character, that, you know, she's very easygoing, very can adapt to any partnership and work with many different people, and I think that's reflected in the success of this particular partnership.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Tian Qing traditionally, as I say, more of a front court player, mid-court to front court, but in this combination she's taken on a bigger workload in the rear court to allow Zhao Yunlei to be a little bit more creative in the front court, and they've been very, very successful.
Oh, that's lovely. What a delightful shot.
And I'd have to say that Asian game ladies doubles final was as good a ladies doubles as I've ever seen, I think. Yeah. The quality of it was incredible.
Yeah. Oops, big gap there.
Little stumble.
Yeah, both the Chinese players ended up the same side of the court to defend.
I think Zhao Yunlei did just slip a little bit there.
Just indicating that the court needs to be mopped of the perspiration. The court attendant very quick to come on. It's good to see. It's landed in misjudgment. Good serve, though.
That's well in. Again, a reflection of the hall, I think. Shuttle seemed to stop in the air.
That's clever. That's lovely play. Just guiding the shuttle into the open space.
Yeah, good vision.
Yeah. Playing well. Six opportunities to close out this opening game for the number 2 seeds. Oh yes, super shot in the end there from Xiao Yunlei. 21-15. Well, there were definitely signs that they weren't overawed by the occasion about playing home favourites. Chinese back on court early, sign of their confidence. So the number 2 seeds having taken that opening game, 21-15. Return to court very early. Very few instructions from their coaches. Obviously very happy with the way they played. Don't seem to have the sort of dominance in their early round matches, this number 2 seeds Tianqing and Zhao Yunlei, in comparison to Huang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, who just seem to absolutely go onto court in their early matches and blast their opponents off.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And probably due in large part to the point that you've already made, that they don't have such outstanding power from the back of the court.
No, they tend to have to play the rallies out a little bit more. I think another factor is possibly also that Zhao Yunlei is the only one of the 4 at the moment that's playing 2 events, and she possibly just tries to measure her effort a little bit more because she's been going deep into all the tournaments in 2 events. Probably tries to pace herself a little bit. That's good, very good doubles. Move the service across a little bit. She's been serving to the tee, just changed the direction slightly of the serve and was very quick in behind it. Good thinking.
That's a good return.
Yeah, that's an effective return. Ladies doubles, that hold and flick into the back box there.
Well, she got hold of that, did Tian Qing. It was probably her fastest smash of the day so far.
Short, took it early, placed it very well. Wasn't just the power, was it? Found the space in between her two opponents. Yeah, same again. Set it up by the first, taking the first interception to the middle of the court. That means she's able to follow it and finish with the second one. Good play. Good example in that rally of what the instinct of both the Chinese girls is. There was two of them coming forward at one point, a little bit of misunderstanding. It was almost a race as to who could get that net position.
Yeah, it sometimes causes confusion when they're sort of queuing up to come forward to the net. But surely as a coach, Ian, you would prefer to see players looking for the opportunities in doubles to come forward than those that hang back the whole time? Or?
Yeah, that's where the rallies are going to be won at the moment. Everybody's got good defences now. Points are won from the front court. So you want players with that instinct to close that space down.
It's a good low serve. Had to hit in an upward direction, albeit not very high. But look, she can't attack. Well, we had 5-all in the opening game, and from there, number 2 seeds lifted their game and won the next 6 points. Just had 5-all. Well, they're on the run again, 4 straight points. And again, Ian, is this instinctive with players that you sort of sense a danger and you can just lift your intensity or lift your focus somehow?
Yeah, and I think this particular Chinese pair are very dangerous when they've got service on service, because they are both such good mixed players. They serve well and they both hunt the third shot very well. So they are likely to win 2 or 3 quick points with those little set plays off serve, return, third shot.
Wasn't just the interception, it was the placement of that winning shot from Tian Qing that was so impressive. So a 5-point advantage at the mid-game interval here in the second game, having already taken the first and number 2 seeds. goes down as a missed opportunity from Zhao Yunlei. Oh, that's dropped in.
That's very dangerous going flat there. Once they're taking the shuttle low there, they really need to go to rear court and push their opponents deep, just keep them off that mid-court net position. A little bit lucky again, they're allowing that mid-court interception.
Powerful smash too, but I have to say that the lift was desperately short. Got what it deserved.
Yeah, one or two errors creeping in here. Just have the feeling Chinese coaches will be trying to get their players going again. They've just relaxed a little bit here.
Pushed deeper and deeper into court.
Just not in defence. The Taipei girls are just not able to get a good length, are they? Once they're under pressure, they can't get out of trouble. They're just hitting the shuttle back rather than being capable of creating space by getting a good length with the defence.
Once again trying an extravagant shot. Nice idea, but wrong execution. Yeah, that was a good rally.
Yeah, forced their opponents off the net position, took the attack, channel attack from the rear court, good smash to the centre, set a partner up nicely in the forecourt.
Super smash. Tian Qing blasting it straight down the line.
Yeah, good angle.
bad return of serve either.
Yeah, good return. Taking the net player out of the game, pushing firmly past, putting herself in good position on the front court.
Well, you can't give chances like that to the world number twos.
No, very short again, and that's been the problem all the way through the match in defence.
Points away from a place in the third round, quarterfinals.
Again, easy shuttles on the mid-court. Can't do that against this pair.
Reads it so well at the front of the court, Zhao Yunlei. And that clever play means that the number 2 seeds have 7 match points. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, followed it up with the power play from Tian Qing. 21-15, 21-14, the margin of victory in just over 30 minutes of play. So safely through to the quarterfinals. Number 2 seeds Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. Xie Pei Cheng and Wang Pei Rong of Taipei. Well, had 1 or 2 moments of inspirational play, but just too much power attack really from the number 2 seeds. There's confirmation of the score. 21-15, 21-14. So, women's doubles and men's doubles, World Championship silver medalists in both. First 2 matches of our afternoon session here in Shanghai, and both safely through to quarterfinals. There's confirmation of what we've seen so far and what we've got coming up, because next up is women's singles. Ip Yin of Hong Kong against Li Ning of China. Li Ning, just 20 years of age. Ian Spear of England. Umpire for this one. Su Xiaofeng of China, service judge. So there's the 20-year-old from Chongqing in Sichuan province. Hong Kong's Ip Yin.
Women's
women's singles second round encounter. Ip Huiyin, 24 years of age, born in Shanghai in Hong Kong. 17 in the world ranking at the moment. She had a marvellous win yesterday. But let's first look at Li Ning, the 20-year-old. 6th Chinese player on the world rankings and still at number 14, as you can see. Well, it's an indication of the strength in depth. This is the third meeting between the two players. Last time they met was in the first round of the Singapore Super Series event. My goodness, what a scoreline, 21-4, 21-14. First time they met was also last year in the Asian Badminton Championships. 21-13, 21-8, so Li Ning won both previous encounters very comfortably indeed. But Ip Huiyin is a very good athlete, as we first saw when she won a silver medal at the Asian Games. And her big scalp was this lady. In the quarter-final stage, beat the Olympic champion Zhang Nin in Doha in those Asian Games and progressed through to the final, where she lost out to her teammate Wang Chen. So Hong Kong gold and silver, the 2006 Asian Games. And incidentally, she was bronze medalist last year at the Asian Games in Guangzhou. So Li Ning, the 20-year-old, will reach the final of the French Super Series event, where she lost out to her teammate Wang Xin in the final. Ip Huiyin had a marvellous first-round victory over the number 6 seed Juliana Schenk from Germany yesterday. Won the opening game from 14-16 down to take it 21-18. Was a long way up in the second. She was 19-15 up and lost 6 straight points to lose that second game, and then saved 2 match points in the decider. 25-23. She eventually won through in an hour and 6 minutes. And as for her opponents, Li Ning beat Pi Hongyan of France in 2 straight games, so a much more comfortable game for this lady. Just 29 minutes against Pi Hongyan, who was incidentally born in the same city as Li Ning, both born in Chongqing. But you had a lot to do with Pi Hongyan, Ian, in France when she moved to Europe and developed very much as a player. But this is a player who I think is certainly has had some outstanding results. That silver medal in Doha, Ip Huiyin. She's a great athlete on court, but sometimes I get the impression that she just so loves the rally, she doesn't take the opportunities to finish them off.
Always have the impression with Yip that she puts a lot of pressure on herself.
Yes.
You know, it's as a coach, you know, if you're under pressure from your opponent, fair enough. But I think Yip puts a lot of pressure on herself. She's very self-critical, quite negative about her own play a lot of the time. And sometimes you just wish she could just go out and play free, because she's a very talented player. But on the other side of the net, I would have to say Li is probably the rising star of the year, I would say, in ladies singles. She's probably the player that's made the most progress this year, and her results are becoming very, very solid indeed.
Yes, and of course, as the 4th ranked Chinese player, sort of under the radar, because we're all talking about Wang Yihan, Wang Xin, Wang Shixian.
Yep, and I think, as we've talked about it before, I think that's probably to her advantage at the moment. You know, she can develop in her own time. They're obviously not pushing her for the Olympics this time. They've got players ranked above her with more experience. So she's got some time to learn her trade. And for me, she's the player that's improved the most of the Chinese, certainly in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I've just given you duff information there, because she's actually the 6th ranked Chinese player, not the 4th.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if the world ranking was just over the last 6 months, so I think she'd be a lot higher. Certainly recently she seems to have made a bit of a breakthrough for me.
Yes, of course, Li Ning not only reached the final of the French Super Series, won in Thailand, the Thailand Grand Prix Gold event.
Just out, but a well-constructed rally. She controlled it all the way through, but then just forced it out the side of the court. That's often the problem playing against Yip. A lot of shuttles come back. She's quite tenacious, as you say. She likes the long rallies. She likes to play long rallies, likes to make it into a physical battle. But I'm not sure she's got the weapons here against Li. I think Li will be able to match her in terms of physicality, but she's actually got a little bit more skill and a little bit more variety technically.
Yeah, I think I can see the influence of Zhang Ning on Li Ning play. She's got that same sort of, well, she's a tall, elegant athlete, the same as the Olympic champion. But sometimes when she moves, I think you can see that almost upright carriage of her body, and an awful lot of the Chinese players are much shorter now. Wang Xin, Wang Shixian, and they're very low in their movement, whereas she tends to be a little bit taller, and it's very similar to me of Zhang Ning.
Yeah, Li uses her height very well, actually. She intercepts a lot of shuttles, and she hits very, very good angles. And as you say, a lot of the Chinese athletes at the moment are not able to do that due to their size. So it's a slightly different style of play. There we saw it. That's the advantage from the rear court, being able to bring the shuttle down steeply. It means she can follow in, she can stand tall on the court and use that height and reach that she has got.
Great backhand. Didn't get away with it. It's always a sign in singles that a player is in trouble and they turn and play the high backhand.
Yeah, good intensity from Yip though. Trying to reduce her opponent's time, using a little bit of smash, mixing it up with the clears to the rear court. And again, nice change of pace. Drive down the line, didn't want to lift to give her opponent time. Drove her opponent away from the net position, stepped in, took it early and used the space in the front court. Good play.
Nicely done, well-constructed rally.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you do give Li time in the rear court. She's got very good precision and very good angle. Yip's going to have to work really hard here to reduce her opponent's time in that rear court position, not to give her time to get organised.
Yeah, and we just saw a glimpse there of the self-critique of Ip Yin. If she made that error, looked very disappointed, turned to her coach.
We see again great control from the rear court, actually turned, looks though she was going to take the shuttle early, but was able to create great power and precision down the line.
Yeah, emphasising your point, well, not on the backhand, but coming forward to the net. Yeah. Yeah, even when she seems to be in trouble, she takes it early.
Yeah, once she gets that time in the rear court, she's really very, very dangerous. And no preparation for that shot. Behind her opponent forced to lift. Very difficult to pick the direction with that short preparation.
Well, this is a run of 6 straight points because she was 8-10 down. Now 14-10 up. Good backhand. And once again, a little look from Ip Yin towards her coach as if to look for inspiration. Well, it needed an error from Li Ning to actually break the run of points.
Short lift.
Yeah.
She didn't want to lift it. She hesitated. Realised she'd probably got to because her opponent was staying up the court. And again, lethal power and precision from her opponent from the rear court from that short lift.
206.
And again.
She's just piling on the pressure here and just won 10 of the last 11 points.
Again, read that reply from Yip, taking the shuttle too late on return of serve there, letting the shuttle come to her, so the deception wasn't as effective. And Li able to intercept and again use the penetration she's got overhead.
Gone long. Well, extraordinary turnaround by Li Ning. Unbelievable. 13 of 14 points going to Li Ning, closing it out 21-11. That really is very impressive indeed. Well, what on earth does Yin have to do here, Ian?
She needs to find a more consistent length, mix it up with some shorter slices to the front court. I think just make her opponent's court a little bit bigger to try and create some space. And above all, avoid the interceptions that she's given. Her trajectory's not been very good when she's been lifting to the rear court. She's given her opponent far too many chances to intercept the shuttle short.
Well, a Hong Kong coach looks as if he's trying to instill a bit of belief and encouragement.
Knows her well, he's been working with her a long time. Took her to the last Olympics in Beijing. I'm sure he'll be thinking the same as us, Jill, that he needs to get her believing in herself again. Her confidence was ebbing away clearly at the end of that first game. Needs to get her in a more positive frame of mind for this second game.
Yeah. Well, Ian, there's no doubting Yin has the ability to have some very big wins. We've mentioned, of course, that Asian Games when she beat the then Olympic champion, well, she's still Olympic champion, Jiang Ning, in the quarterfinal stage. But I remember Yin beating a certain Zhe Feng, first round of the All England Championships back in 2008. And Zhe Feng, of course, was then the three-time defending All England champion.
Again, super angle from the rear court from Li. Once she gets the chance to intercept the shuttle, she hits very good angles. And that's so short in the court, forcing Yip into the dive, unable to control the shuttle.
Just long. Well, I think perhaps a little bit in her career, just lost her way a little bit, as she did in that opening game. You know, you've had a few good results early on when you've been a youngster, and, you know, wasn't very well at one stage, lost an awful lot of weight, and has come back from that. And, you know, you sort of expect her to build on those very big results, but I don't know what it is. Is it the perhaps not the same level of skill and deception overhead in comparison to the very top players in the world that Yin is lacking?
I think the key with Yip is a mental frame of mind in the matches. She tends to, in my view, overanalyze a little bit negative on herself. She's a little bit of a perfectionist. And when her shots aren't working, she gets very negative. And we're seeing signs of it here again today. Certainly in 2007, 2008, she had some health problems. She was, from talking to one or two of the Hong Kong coaches, she was overtraining a little bit. That ran herself down, got some blood problems, got some iron problems, and lost a lot of weight, and got into a bit of a downward cycle around sort of Beijing Games, was really struggling with fitness. But since then, as you say, she's come back physically, but not been able to find any real consistency with the results. The odd good win here and there, but not consistent enough, really.
No, that's right. I remember the first tournament of the year, which was the Super Series Finals in January earlier this year. Beat Tina Bao in the group stage of those Super Series Finals, and I thought, yeah, you know, she's really back to full fitness, looks good, and she hasn't really been able to build on that for the rest of this year.
No, and again, I think she puts pressure on herself. You know, she has the big win, and then she's saying, right, I'm off, here we go. And then she expects to win everything and play perfectly all the time. And sometimes you've just got to get stuck in and fight when things aren't going your way. And Yip, I'm afraid, tends to get a little bit down on herself and get a little bit negative.
Indecision at the back of the court from Li Ning.
Photography is not allowed during the game. Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah, finds the line. Good smash. One of the few women players that loves to use the jump smash. Yin.
Yes, it's always been a feature of her game.
Yeah, I asked her about it once, and she was saying, oh, well, she'd watched Lin Dan play. She liked his style, and therefore she wanted to try and do the jump smashes as well. That shows a good attitude, doesn't it? Wanting to be adventurous, wanting to maybe take the game to do something a little bit different to the other players. That sometimes perhaps uses an awful lot of energy and doesn't get that much of an advantage from it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Yeah, again, lovely control. Super slice, enables her to get in early, make her opponent late, and good precision down the line.
Well, I think Zhang Ning is saying something about push her deep into the back corner, and then play to the net. Especially probably if she's using those fast angled, fast drop shots. Now forced to take it late. Oh, that's delightful. What a super shot.
Yeah, read it very early, didn't she? Took it on top of the net. That created the space.
Wasn't the cleanest of hits, but very effective.
No, took it early, intercepted it early. And again, we're seeing this little acceleration after the mid-game interval. 3 straight points, pulls her away.
Yes. Just seems to be in total control now. Li Ning. 6 straight points. Yeah, look at the body language. Not good. Eight straight points. Oh, that's incredible. Great disguise, great precision.
Yeah, you probably felt she played a good return there for once she managed to get it behind her opponent. Her opponent just coming up with a super cross drop.
Missed it. So that error from Ibuyen. And now 11 match points for the Li. This time, second time of asking. 21-11, 21-10. The victory there for the unseeded Li Ning. And really, Ian, there was 2 little passages of play there. In the opening game, from 8-10 down, 13 of the next 14 points, and then in the second, from, well, 10-7. Really just piled on the pressure, and there's confirmation of the scoreline that takes Li Ning into the quarterfinals for the 3rd straight year. So 3 of our 4 matches this afternoon have been completed, and all of them in 2 straight games. Coming up next is mixed doubles and Diju Valiavitil and Joala Gutta up against the Danish combination of Joachim Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen. And of course the Danes have been in great form of late. Following the mixed doubles, we'll have men's singles and the world #1, Li Chongwei, in a repeat of the French Open final up against Kenichi Tago of Japan. Four courts in action, of course, here in this stadium in Shanghai. There you can see all 4 courts. Plenty of home player involvement, but not in our next match, because it's the Indian combination of Diju Valiavitil and Joala Gutta up against the Danes, the #3 seeds Joachim Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen. Well, while we wait for the players to come onto court, Ian, I have to ask you about the resurgence of Indian badminton. Well, we've really seen it very clearly over the last 12 months or so. And then last week in Hong Kong, we had 2 Indian men's singles players in the quarter-final stage. Of course, there's been a lot of talk and interest surrounding Saina Nehwal and her exploits in winning Super Series events last year. And in fact, the year before, won the Indonesian back in 2009. Retained it in 2010, lost in the final this year. And of course, women's doubles, India doing very well. Bronze medalists at the World Championships. Joala Gutta playing with Ashwini Ponnappa. And it really is a delight to see a country like India, who've had 1 or 2 outstanding players in the past, now have a lot of strength in depth.
Yes, there's a real buzz around Indian badminton at the moment. There's a lot happening over there. There's some very good academies that have started up, and they're producing a lot of very, very good young players at the moment. And the volume that they're producing at the moment tends to suggest that they really are going to challenge in the next sort of 5 to 10 years. Certainly in the 2 singles events, which they haven't had a lot of good results in for the last 10 years, you'd have to say. Suddenly they've got a wealth of talent coming through.
Yeah.
And I think it's great to see, personally. It's nice to see some different countries coming through and challenging. And certainly last week, a couple of the younger boys made some breakthroughs, had some great wins. It'll be interesting to see how they follow that up. And they've also got a very, very talented young girl coming through as well.
Yeah, 16-year-old Sindar doing very well.
Yeah, so I think Saina's maybe opened the door. I'm sure some of the young girls are looking at what Saina's been doing over the last couple of years. And certainly when a player from your own country does make that breakthrough and win at world level, it helps. It helps the young players have more belief in themselves, to train that little bit harder, to believe a little bit more that they can make it. And certainly that's the case with Indian badminton at the moment. There's a lot of belief.
Absolutely, and I guess the fact that you see at the training environment on a daily basis somebody like Saina Nehwal, and of course women's doubles pair and so on, that have achieved medals and status at world level. You know, you're absolutely right. It's not just the fact you're sparring with them, it's the psychological effect of seeing them and saying to yourself, well, if they can do it, you know, I'm doing the same training as them, I'm practicing against them, I too can achieve.
Yeah, and there's a very healthy internal competition as well. They have good domestic tournaments. They've now got a team competition that's up and running.
Yeah,
the best players having to play each other as well. There's a lot happening. There's a real buzz around Indian badminton at the moment. It's nice to see.
But of course, this is Danish combination have been doing exceptionally well of late, because they've reached the final of the last 4 Super Series events they've played. Joachim Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen, number 3 seeds, against the Indian pair of Diju Valiavitil and Jwala Gutta. And both these pairs consisting of a left and right-handed combination. Joachim Fischer, 33 years of age. Yesterday was his birthday. Don't think he will have celebrated too much. He'll have his mind focused on trying to get through to yet another final. Look at their win-loss record for the year. That's impressive, isn't it? 40-10. Very good indeed. Of course, they were beaten in the final of the Hong Kong last week. World champions beating them in a thrilling final, 3-game final. But yesterday, a Danish combination disposed of the 2010 bronze medalists from the World Championships, Li Shengmu and Chen Yuqin, in 2 straight games. Now, as far as the Indian combination are concerned, their win-loss record, as you can see, not quite as impressive, but there's a very good reason for that, and that's that Diju Valiavitil underwent back surgery earlier this year. In fact, his first tournament returning from that injury layoff was the World Championships in Wembley. So that's one of the reasons why their win-loss record is as it is. Well, you can see this is the 5th meeting between these 2 pairs, and I can tell you that the Indian combination won their first encounter, which was the final of the 2008 Bitburger event. It was 22-20 in the deciding game, but since then, I have to say, the Danes have won their next 3 encounters rather comfortably. Last time they met, of course, was the quarterfinal of the Danish Super Series event. 21-5, 21-7.
Yes, I remember that match well. I'd have to say, though, Diju's come back from this back injury. I think he's come back quicker than he would have liked to have done because of the Olympic qualifying.
Yes. And
I don't think he's 100%. He's certainly not got the same flexibility in his movement around the rear court at the moment. And at the really top level, that's going to get found out, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But they're a dangerous pair. You know, over the, when they are fully fit, they're very, very dangerous. They play a slightly different style to many of the other pairs. Different angles, different set plays with Gutta, with the forehand serve, which is so unusual these days. They create some different angles and different plays that upset a lot of the top pairs.
Well, when you consider these 2 pairs played against each other in the final of the 2009 Super Series finals, that's an indication of just emphasising what you've said, Ian. Both very, very good pairs indeed, when fully fit. Well, of course, we talked about Diju's injury problems. Should also mention that Joachim Fischer, after that Super Series final in Kota Kinabalu in 2009, he picked up a knee injury, which kept him out of the game for 8 months. Had surgery in March last year. In fact, his first tournament back was the World Championships a year ago. So both these men having to undergo surgery, both coming back at World Championships, which is not the easiest event to make your return, is it?
No, as I say, particularly this year, I think Diju probably wouldn't have come back as quickly. The Olympics is weighing heavily on his mind. They've got all on to get up into that top 16 to qualify for the games.
Yes, and currently at the moment, 25.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is, they're a better pair than that, clearly. Yeah. But they just haven't got the tournaments on the board at the moment to have a realistic ranking. I'm sure they can get higher than that, but even with Dijou probably playing at about 80–90%.
Well, York and Fisher immediately apologises. Oh! Good rally. It's going to go wide.
Yeah, well judged. It's a nice reflection of the hall, isn't it, Jill?
Yeah.
How many smashes did the Danes have there? How many opportunities from mid-court did they have? I think the Indian pair have decided in this game they're going to play a little bit of counter-attack. They're going to try and make the Danish pair work hard in attack. It'll be interesting to see what variety they come up with.
Yeah, well, a little bit of confusion there from Chwalaguta about the formation of the Danes. Thought they were in the wrong formation. Oh yeah, that is clever. Yeah. Super shot.
Yeah, and already we're seeing Gutta. They're very dangerous on her service, aren't they? They win a lot of quick points on her service. This is just another little run. It's a tricky serve, different angles, a lot of variety.
Given what you've just said, why does no other player at the elite level of world badminton serve forehand?
That's a great question. There's always been the odd one over the years, hasn't there, that's served forehand, but at the moment, Gutta's really the only example. And it is, particularly for the left-handers, it does give some different angles. It's interesting now, though, when you look at all the coaching programs, the first shot that's coached with young players now is the backhand serve, because that's the easiest for them to deal with. And all players start with that, whereas traditionally, sort of up to 15 years ago, everybody would start with forehand. Now, coaching and research shows that for young players, it's much easier for them with hand-eye coordination on the backhand side, to start on the backhand side than the forehand side. I think that's probably had an influence.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Last week, Ian, I was talking about York and Fisher when he was playing, the intensity of the man. He really is great to watch, isn't he? I mean, he just gives heart and soul to every single rally.
Yeah, I think he's another example of a slightly older player. He's had an injury and probably realises this is it. He's got to make the most of it. You know, he had a serious injury at 30 plus. A lot of people don't come back from that. And he's come back and he's really relishing it. He's enjoying it so much at the moment, his badminton. And it's reflected with his attitude on court. Yeah, coming back, there would have been a big question in a lot of people's mind whether this pair could even qualify for the games. You know, they were well behind Leybourne and Newell, the other Danish pair, who'd won the World Championships. You know, there were big question marks whether they'd even be going to London, and now they're in a position where they're not only going to be going, they're going to be looking for medals.
Yeah.
It's a big turnaround, and it's nice to see. He's also one of those players that's had results at all three events. I mean, he started as a singles player, had some good results as a singles player.
Yeah, won 3 singles titles.
Yeah, he's won some singles titles, was a very, very good international singles player, then started playing some doubles, had some good doubles results.
I think he reached the final of the Danish Open when Carsten Mogensen was out injured playing with Matthias Bo.
Yep, good player, and he's come round to the mix. He's got great court coverage from his singles. He's not scared to take chances in the front court from his doubles experience, and it makes him a very tricky opponent.
Yeah. Well, a 4-point advantage at the mid-game interval. But as we would expect in this mixed doubles, not so many long rallies.
No, both pairs are very, very good on set plays off serve and return. So we're going to see a lot of short rallies. We're going to see both pairs taking some chances early on in the points. That's clever play. It's good peripheral vision from Gutta there. She's in the front court. Shuttle's actually dropping on her, but she's able to see the space in the rear court and able to change the direction of the shuttle. It's very, very good play.
I think what's nice about this pair as well, Ian, the Danes often see them talking to each other, smiling at each other on court. It's not just that they, quite obviously by their style of play, have a real burning desire to do well. They also thoroughly enjoy it. They enjoy playing on the same court. They enjoy each other's company, and it's great to see because they obviously love the experience out there.
Yeah, and as I say, I think Joachim's really thriving on the opportunity he's got to come back from that injury. It's interesting, really, he's come full circle because as a young singles player, I think it's fair to describe him, he was a little bit of a hothead on court, tended to lose his temper and lose his cool a little bit, got frustrated quite easily, and he's really managed to temper that, and as you say, he really relishes his match play now, really enjoys the competition. And as you say, in one or two of the tight matches they've had against the top 2 Chinese pairs over the last few weeks, he's enjoyed the 20-alls, the 19-alls,
yeah.
And you've seen the smile and him turning round to the crowd to get the crowd involved. And it makes a big difference when you enjoy those situations and you're not stressed by them.
Close the gap to just 2 points. Oh, good serve again. Yeah, good rally by the Indian combination. was a good little run.
Yeah, again, it's the serve of Gutter, isn't it? They're very dangerous there. Very well organised behind it. She uses the left hand to good advantage behind the service. Manages to create a lot of attacking opportunities.
Often think looking at
Joachim's just actually hit Christine on the elbow there. Yeah, I think
she looks in a bit of pain.
Yeah, I think
Oof.
Yeah.
Yes. That will hurt. I wouldn't be surprised if she calls for the tournament doctor and gets some cold spray on that.
Yeah, that was a full underarm swing. You can see it again from this angle. It's a big swing.
Well, she's not calling for the medic. Always interesting to see how a player reacts to something like that happening on court, and that speaks volumes about the character of Christina Pedersen.
Yeah, likes that play. Pace on from the mid-court and following in. That's his speciality. His partner's not happy with him there. He's getting a telling off from Gutter there.
Very much the commander of both partnerships, both her women's doubles with Ponopa and this mixed doubles. Oh, it's just long.
Yes, I'm afraid he's going to get told off again for that one. That was a good opportunity. Short lift, took it early.
Three errors. I'm not convinced that the telling off has the right effect, because that's 3 straight errors now from Dijou, and it means that there's 6 game points for the Danes. He's found the line. 21. Umpire just confirming the score. Well, it was a mishit, but it found the line.
Whenever she is caught, be extremely careful of hitting cross to. But whenever she is straight, 100% hit on it. And whenever getting the hit, stop it. Good moment, you have to.
वो स्मैश बार रख दे. She's running to his backhand.
Come on, this backhand is weak.
Well, very interesting there from Pulana Gopichand, telling his players have to be very, very careful playing cross to Christina Pedersen.
Yeah, asking his pair to try and manoeuvre it to create straight opportunities to hit on Christina Pedersen. But that's easier said than done, because they're very well organised, the Danish pair, with the left-right hand combination on serve and return. Christina Pedersen doesn't look very comfortable here. Don't know what the problem is. She's taking a lot of time between the points there.
Yeah, and I think in that rally we saw the lack of flexibility still in the back of Dijou. Didn't look comfortable as he played that deep backhand.
No, and he's really struggling to get round that corner at the moment.
Yeah, she's got a good smash on her, has Dwala Gutta.
Yeah, when she's got time, she's very good overhead. She's got power, but she's also got variety. Once again, very good service. Creates the opportunity. Well taken.
Good powerful smash from Joachim Fischer.
Yeah, well angled across the defensive position of his opponent.
That's very good judgment. Couldn't have been long by much. Oh, lovely backhand. Ulrika Olsen, Danish coach, very pleased with that.
Yeah, it's good control there from Joachim. Didn't try and hit it too hard, just concentrate on getting the shuttle below net height. And that forced the mistake from his opponent.
Court 3, men's double. Hashimoto Hirokatsu, Hirata Noriyasu.
Yeah, and when Dijou did get the opportunity to attack straight on Pedersen, he was able to win the point.
Denmark. Michael Faridal, Norway. Service charge, Lisa, China.
That's good judgment again.
Service over. 5-4.
Noticeable in the second game, Diju trying to be very aggressive on return of serve. Just made the mistake there.
Yeah, it does try to be aggressive, but I always think that he doesn't show enough aggression in his stance as he's waiting to receive serve. Seems a little passive, and then he pounces on it.
Yes, he's very upright in his stance. We'll see it here. Doesn't really flex the knees to be able to push forward with as much power as possible. Could take a more aggressive stance, but certainly in this game he's trying to be aggressive. We'll see here, very upright.
Maybe we won't see it.
I'm sure we'll get another chance. Not the best choice from Joachim. Cross court there. Opened up his partner on the straight. She had no chance. Here we see it cross. Diju stepping up, taking it on the mid-court. Easy finish.
Oh, she's missed it.
Always on the attack, just overcooked the last one.
Could have perhaps afforded to play one just a little bit softer. Mix it up a little bit. It's a very good rally.
Again, it's good to change in the direction on the forecourt there.
Oh, my goodness. Put that away so well. Great placement, good power, good angle.
1号场将要进行的是女子单打对阵双方，佐藤亚香日本，裴妍淑韩国，裁判员张丽中国，发球裁判哈坎福斯托瑞典。
Women's single, Sanja Sayaka, Japan, Baiyang Korea, umpire, Zhang Li, China, service charge, Michael Fosco, Sweden.
Some excellent rallies now. We were complaining really in the opening game, Ian, that there was too many short rallies because of the set plays, but now really developing into a very good match indeed. Oh, what a return, straight down the line.
Yep, I think the Dane slightly relaxed there, saw it going over Diju's shoulder and felt he wasn't in a position to hit hard, but he produced good power and precision down the line. Again, that's a good service. Right, tight into the tee, coming from wide. Difficult to control the return.
It's the Indian combination on a run of 3 straight points. Go to the mid-game interval with the advantage. Very slender advantage, just 1 point in it.
Chance in case you get it down also, only backhand lift. Straight on. The girl
is covering backhand.
crosses, she's covering always on this side, she's there. So always straight, especially when you get your forehand.
Even backhand, you keep straight.
Come on, you move fast. And if the ball is straight, hit to the ball. If the girl is straight, hit to the ball. Don't go fast.
Well, obviously Pilota Gopachand urging them to play straight.
Yeah, I mean, in the last point it was interesting. He did work the situation well, where he got up onto the mid-court and was able to play straight mid-court push. But yeah, it's easier. I think it's easier said than done to just play straight down the sides to this Danish pair. They're very well organised after the first 3 shots. I think you need a little bit more variety than that. Well, talking of variety, that's good variety on the serve. That quick flick up the middle, coming back onto court, taking her opponent by surprise.
Absolutely, but Christina Pedersen really not convinced it was a legal serve.
It's interesting because start of the second game, Gutter was talking to the service judge about how high Pedersen's service was, so there's a little bit of gamesmanship going on here.
It's good placement. It's a run of 4 straight points.
Serve. Good serve.
Yeah. Had to hit in an upward direction, and Jorgen Fischer absolutely pounced on that. Well, all this talk about straight, and there was a backhand cross-court from Joanna Gutter.
Again, that's an error from Diju. Didn't really step onto that, let the shuttle come to him, and that just means when you hit hard, it tends to go flatter. Take the risk of hitting out the rear court as he did there.
And having played so well to have that advantage at the mid-game interval on a run of 4 straight points, the Danes responding with a run of 6 straight points.
Yeah, Pedersen serving very, very well. As we see here, she's on the limit all the time as regards height. She comes very flat when she serves. Again, it's a super serve. Right on the limit, though, in terms of legality, I would suggest.
Just to clarify that, Ian, the exact rule on how high you can hit the shuttle, below the waist?
Yeah, well, the waist is defined as the bottom rib. Whole of the shuttle needs to be struck from below the bottom rib. And as I say, very often, though, the players will test the service judges. They'll see how far they can go, see where they're going to get faulted with different service judges. Christina's not been called here, and she's served exceptionally well.
Yeah, especially in this run, 8 straight points.
Yeah, I'd have to say that was probably the decisive run. It's going to be difficult to come back from here.
Oh my goodness. That was a great backhand from York and Fisher. Great awareness too of where the gap was.
Yeah, here we see it, just guiding the shuttle down cross court, forcing Dijou to take it from below net height. Again, his partner not happy.
Yeah, a lot of attacking play guided down towards Dwala Gutta. Mix of pace doing the damage. Softer one, then the power play from Fisher-Nielsen. And it means that the Danes, having been 10-12 down, now 7 match points. Finish it off and really lifted their games, having been down at the mid-game interval. Promptly take 11 of the next 13 points and close out the match. York and Fisher-Nielsen and Christina Peterson, number 3 seeds, safely through to the quarterfinal. This is the final rally. Symmetry in the scoreline, 21-14, 21-14. And the Danes continue their good run in Super Series events. So, Ian, just able to lift their game when they needed to.
Yes, very much in control there. When they came under pressure, Pedersen found a very good run of short service, created a lot of attacking opportunities. So their confirmation that our first 4 matches have all been won in 2 straight games. Just one more match to come this afternoon, and it's the world number 1, Lee Chong-wei, up against Kenichi Tago of Japan. Lee Chong-wei, twice a runner-up, beaten finalist at the China Open. For Kenichi Tago, there's Lee Chong-wei. 22-year-old Kenichi Tago from Japan, making his first ever appearance here
at the China Open, and that just probably, Ian, emphasises the point that we were making earlier about the Premier Superseries status now. The BWF have promoted 5 tournaments of the 12 Super Series tournaments a year to Premier status, and this is the 5th and final one this year, and it has made a difference.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the fans, it's been great. Seeing the top players playing against each other on a regular basis can only be a good thing for the game. And, you know, in the past, quite a few players have avoided the China Open, you'd have to say. Too many Chinese floaters in the draw. You know, but this time, all the top players are obliged to play, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it certainly does. Li Chongwei didn't make the journey to Shanghai last year for the China Open. In 2009, Li Chongwei didn't have the best of tournaments because he was the #1 seed and lost in the very first round to Jan Jorgensen of Denmark in 3 games. In fact, Jan Jorgensen made it all the way through to the final. So to 22-year-old Kenichi Tago, 16 in the world ranking, as I say, making his first appearance here at the China Open. 16 and 12, his win-loss record for the year. Played well recently because he reached the final of the French Super Series, where he lost to this man in the final. And look at that, 60 and 5, his win-loss record for the year. And until last week in Hong Kong, he had reached the final of 17 consecutive tournaments that he'd played. Now, for Japanese fans, that's rather ominous, isn't it? Kenichi Tago never won a match against his opponent of today. This is the 9th opportunity. And of those 8 previous, this is the, well, twice it's been to 3 games, and this is the 3rd time that they've met this year. And Ian, always difficult for a player when you've never beaten a certain opponent. Mind you, there aren't many men that have beaten Li Chongwei because he's just been so consistent. But it is difficult psychologically, I guess, for Tago to come into this match. 8 and 0 head-to-head record.
Yes and no. I mean, Tago's still a developing player. I mean, a lot of those losses came before last year when he made his big move forward. And you'd have to say, you know, he played him in the final of the French Open, played him in the final of the All England. I mean, he's had some fantastic results, and I'm sure he doesn't go on in a negative frame of mind. So I think he'll treat each opportunity as exactly that, an opportunity to try and turn that round.
Yeah, I do remember, though, when I was a player and there's certain players that I played against, and whilst I went onto court believing that exactly what you've said, that yes, I can win this, it's going to be my day today, it's, you know, I'm going to turn it around. If things start to go badly for you, it's awfully difficult then to have a deep inner belief that it really is going to be your day.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, this is where you see whether young players like Tago are potential champions, because in these situations he's got to find a positive frame of mind, and he's got to try and create some opportunities for himself and try and turn it around. And you'll learn a lot as a coach about your players in these situations. Certainly in this hall, it's tactically, it'll be a different game to when they played in the French final. Stade de Coubertin, a very compact stadium,
Yeah.
Quite a quick hall. Emphasis on trying to win the net and take the attack here. Slower hall, bigger stadium. It's a different game, different tactics required.
It's not bad for an opening smash, is it? 256.
Good rally, good quality. Chong Wei had a few attacking opportunities. Targo was able to stand up to it defensively, eventually created his own opportunity, and really surprised Li Chong Wei by going down the centre with that smash. That's not the best of serves, I'd have to say. Short, flat, flick service, easily intercepted.
No, that's a good angle. Winner of this encounter will play against Sho Sasaki of Japan in the quarter-final. Oh, it's delightful.
It'll be interesting to watch Li Chong Wei this week, how he reacts to last week's result. First time he's not reached a final for over a year.
Yeah, 14 months, 23 days to be precise. Since losing in the quarter-final of the World Championships in Paris. Now, you don't often see this with Li Chong Wei. Doesn't want to change the shuttle. Normally when his opponent asks to change the shuttle, duly obliges. Yeah, it has to be said, Ian, that last week Li Chong Wei was, I think it's fair comment to say, not particularly happy with the fact that he wasn't informed that the all-Chinese men's doubles semi-final, which was due to take place just before his men's singles semi-final against Lin Dan, the world and Olympic champion, he wasn't told in advance that that match wasn't going to happen, and therefore he wasn't really properly prepared for that semi-final. He's not using that as an excuse, but he didn't really have a proper warm-up before that semi-final.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this is going to be really interesting. I mean, logically, if it goes as seeded, it will be Li Chong Wei, Lin Dan in the semi-final again this week. And I'll be really interested to see how Chong Wei reacts in that situation, how he deals with it.
Yeah. Just so smooth with his movement there, Li Chong Wei.
Yeah, he's already having some success in this match with the angled attack to Targo's backhand wing. It's something we'll have to watch during this game. Seems to be a tactic early on, that's for sure.
Yeah, forced the short lift by the tight spinning net shot.
Yeah, see Chong Wei having to take that late, losing control of the length. Good precise smash down the line.
Now a 6-point advantage to the world number one at the mid-game interval. Been world number one since September 2008. We'll have to check the record books, Ian, but I think that's the longest uninterrupted reign of a world #1 in singles. Men's singles, that is.
Yes, I would say that's very possible. He's certainly been so consistent, and he's played as well. You know, he's supported the Super Series right from the start.
Yeah.
He's been ever present. He's been very consistent with his results, and he fully deserves to have maintained that position for such a long period.
Yes, I remember when he first became world #1, it was actually for a couple of weeks back in 2006, which interrupted Lin Dan's reign as world #1 in between the two Olympic Games, Athens in 2004 and 2008, and then following the Beijing Olympics, soon after that, this man took over as world #1 on a regular basis, and he's held on to it ever since.
Well, that's 3 points lost since the interval. Chong Wei just lost focus. 3 mistakes.
And that's unusual, isn't it? Normally after the interval, it comes out very strong. Good. Oh, great pressure from Li Chong Wei. Look at that. Superb.
Court 4, men's single. Wang Zhenming, China. Chen Jing, China. Umpire, Lu Ming, China. Service charge, Ling Bing, China.
That's brilliant net play from Li Chong Wei, because Targo was ready to pounce. Stood his ground. The net shot was just so accurate, couldn't make the kill.
Yeah, that's a little bit dangerous from Targo there. Li Chong Wei plays good angle cross drop. Cross lift's not the best option against someone as quick as Chong Wei. This time the centre attack, he's just getting too much time, isn't he, Jill?
Yeah.
Targo giving him too much time to get organised, select his shot. No pressure on him at the moment.
He certainly refound his focus as Li Chongwei. 6 straight points. Oh, that's super though from Targo.
Here we see it, Chongwei going for the trick shot, cross, but eventually forced into taking the backhand shot in the rear court. High lift, Targo, good straight smash. Again, it's a good net. Chongwei so quick in, saw his chance, got in, managed to get some spin on the shuttle. That caused Targo to lose control of that lift. Yeah, and again, just if you give Li Chongwei time in the rear court, he's got so much variety and such good control. And this time he took the pace off, went for the angle with the cross slice.
Beautiful spinning net shot. Well, 11 game points. A simple unforced error there from Targo. 21-9, just 13 minutes of play. Li Chongwei takes the opening game.
I'm afraid you were right, Jill. No belief there, was there, from Targo?
No, that's the problem, and that's what I was trying to explain, that you do go on with all the right intentions, right mindset, you know, and as soon as things start to go wrong, then, you know, it's almost as if, as much as you're consciously trying to tell yourself that yes, it can be done, subconsciously you fall into the trap of, oh no, the same thing's going to happen again.
Yeah, and it certainly looked that way. But I find that quite disappointing from Targo. He's one of the most talented young players in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
And he has had some close sets and a couple of close matches with Chongwei. And hopefully he can turn it around in this second game. But certainly in the first game, in the rear court, he's given Chongwei time. He's given Chongwei time to get organised and use all his variety from the rear court. And then in the forecourt, he's let Chongwei take the shuttle early and get some spin on the shuttle and get control of the front court as well. You know, Targo's a better player than that. Let's see what he can do in this second game.
Oh my goodness.
That's really wild.
There's great placement of the smash, the body smash again, aimed towards the right hip.
Again, that steep angle down to the backhand defence of Targo, proving effective.
场将要进行的是女子单打对阵双方，丽娜鲍恩，丹麦；姚雪，中国。裁判员苏尼尔，美国。发球裁判李李佳，毛里求斯。
Court 1, Women's Single, Tina Owen, Denmark, Lao She, China. Umpire, Senior Jimmy Dessa. Service charge, Diraj Rubidori, Mauritius.
Oh, great net shot again.
Yeah, and the key is he gets there so early, doesn't he? Again, it was the angled shot down from round the head down to the Targo backhand defence. Quick in behind it, good spinning net.
Well, Lee Chong-wei are absolutely cruising at the moment. Oh, round the back shot. Well, there's a sign of the confidence. Wasn't at all bad either, was it? That's nigh on perfection, isn't it?
That's a fantastic rally, really is. Great placement and variety in attack early on the net. Once he took the attack, gave his opponent no opportunity to turn that round.
Steep angle.
Yeah, again, he's able to intercept that so early, though.
Targo has had some good results, though, hasn't he? You were mentioning that earlier. I remember you and I commentating on him beating Chen Jin in the Korean Open at the beginning of the year. Also, Malaysian Super Series event, the first of the OSIM BWF World Superseries this year. Beat Bao Chun Lai, who's recently announced his retirement from the game.
Yeah, getting a lot of success there, isn't he? Getting up early, clipping it down cross to the backhand defence of Targo.
越南，约根森，丹麦；裁判员苏南，中国；发球裁判郑三良，中国。
Court 3, men's single, Nguyen Thian Minh, Vietnam, Robinson, Denmark. Umpire, Sunan, China. Service charge, Zheng Sanliang, China.
Oh, well, missed it. Targo was back on his heels. That is brilliant. Hitting winners at will.
Yeah, he's been going at the backhand defence, a little bit of variety, switch sides, just as effective.
Well, the 8-point advantage at the mid-game interval. Yeah. After the dive there, just look at the reaction from Targo. So as a coach, Ian, what do you say to a player in this sort of situation?
Try something. Do something. Do something positive. Try and be a little bit more aggressive early on in the rallies. Try and take some initiative. Try and get something out of it. Try and change the momentum of the game. Certainly needs to be more aggressive on the serve and return situations. Try and make Chong Wei take the shuttle a little bit later, cut his time down. Very passive at the moment. At least he tried something on defect, on return of serve there. Sent Chong Wei the wrong way. Just missed it. And that's too good. Chong Wei hits the line again with the attacking shot.
Oh, that time it's just wide.
That's a rare event in this match. Chong Wei missing the net shot there. Took it early. Just missed it.
Well, umpire making the correction, and I was going to say, well, my instinctive reaction was that that was wide. Didn't seem to be the right call, but justice in the end and good umpiring. Restores the 10-point advantage. Oh, superb.
Great net, we'll see it from here. It's so tight, nothing Targo can do with that.
Judgment, but surely too little, too late. Chong Wei so relaxed and so confident, just watching the match on the adjoining court. Well, the problem for Targo, he knows how dangerous it is to lift the shuttle. Trying to play the net, pretty dangerous area too. leaps from that base position in the centre of the court. Able to find the winner. And it's really been a demonstration today by the world #1, masterclass. The umpire saying to Li Chongwei, wait for the line judge to get back into position after mopping the court.
Well, finally some urgency from Targo there. Tried to increase the intensity of the rally, flattened out his trajectory a little bit to the rear court. Reduced Chongwei's time on the shuttle, and it paid dividends.
No, missed it. Always dangerous to smash across court if your opponent gets it early, as Li Chongwei did on that occasion. Then you've got the full diagonal to scamper. And as I was just saying, it really has been a masterclass, because now it's 13 match points for the world #1. Only needed the one opportunity. 21-9, 21-7. And the crowd showing their appreciation of the world #1. 28 minutes for that victory. Well, Ian, you said to me that it would be interesting to see how Li Chongwei reacted after last week. I think you've got your answer there.
And it's good to see, I have to say. It'll be a very interesting week. Chongwei looks motivated, looks ready to go, and looks, I would say, looks very hungry to play Lin Dan again in the semi, which is great news.
Yeah, there's confirmation of the demolition, really, of Kenichi Targo. 21-9, 21-7. Well, today started with men's doubles. And the #4 seeds from Korea, Go Sang-hyun and Yu Young-sung, overcoming Chen Hong-ling and Lin Yu-lang. Then it was women's doubles and another pair from Taipei. They too were playing against World Championship silver medalists. Ip Pui-yin had no answer for Li Zhurui in the women's singles. And in the mixed doubles, well, the Danes continue their good run, disposing of Diju and Gutta of India, also in 2 straight games. Good rallies in that mixed doubles, and good to see Diju making his way back to full fitness. But my goodness, what a joy it was to watch Li Chongwei in full flow in that men's singles against Kenichi Targo. 21-9, 21-7 in just 29 minutes. Absolutely extraordinary. So that, of course, is the end of our action. There is confirmation of the results of today, and that, of course, concludes second round action today. We will have quarterfinals tomorrow. Quarterfinals, of course, tomorrow will be a little later than our matches today. 5 p.m. local time, that's 0900 GMT. Of course, Ian Wright and myself, Jill Clark, we will be back for quarterfinals. And I personally hope that we see a few more closer matches, a 3-game thriller, as we did last week in Hong Kong. Because sadly, I thought that today was going to be some great matchups, but never transpired all of the matches we had, as you can see, in 2 straight games. Well, of course, as I say, that's it for today from Shanghai. From all of us here, hope you'll be able to join us tomorrow. 5 p.m. local, 0900 GMT. Ian Wright and myself will be back tomorrow for all quarter-final action. And don't forget, of course, we will be here on semi-finals, 1200 local time, and finals, all 5 finals on Sunday as well. So great action still to come from Shanghai. But in the meantime, from Ian and myself, join us tomorrow. Bye for now.
Court 2, mixed double. Cao Jiaming, Shanghai, China. Hong Wei, Hong Kong, China. Umpire, Zhang Xianhua, China. Service charge, Zhang.
中国